Hey guys, it's Allie and Jen from Michigan Another Mayhem.
Just over a year ago, Allie asked me if I wanted to create a podcast.
And we had no idea what we were doing.
Luckily, we chose Anchor as our platform.
It's a free, and there are creation controls that allow you to record and edit your podcast right on your phone.
You just have to press a couple buttons. Just a couple buttons.
I know. I don't want to do the beep. Anchor distributes your podcast so that it can be heard on other platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more.
It does that for us. It also provides us with the opportunity to make money right away.
It's everything you need in one place.
Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
It's as easy as that, what we did right there.
All right, but next time I get to pick what we do.
I know, I wanted to surprise you. You trooper.
You're welcome.
Okay, thanks. Cue fake podcast music. Ding dong, ding, ding, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding, ding, ding.
I want to say Mr. Sandman.
I know, right? I think that's what I'm doing. I couldn't think of
Like,
bells.
what
I couldn't
is
think of
that?
Christmas bells.
It's
I
not
didn't
even
know what to
like
do.
jingle bells.
I know.
Na-na-na-na-na-na.
That's what panic sounds like. Hello and welcome to Michigan Another Mayhem, the show about Michigan, murder, mysteries, histories, and other random mayhem from around the world. Your hosts are Allie
And Jen.
All right, Jen, it's our Christmas one. Now, I didn't do any Christmas murder because last year I did a Christmas murder that was so, kind of grossed me out that I'm still a little bit disturbed today.
Yeah.
That's when the kid was tortured. The 15-year-old kid was tortured.
Yeah.
And it was so fucking awful that they said, that was in England, that the jury, that whoever served on the jury no longer had to serve on the jury for the rest of their life. They're excused.
Mm-hmm.
And still fucking bothers me.
So now what route did you take for Christmas then?
I'm just going to tell you about Christmas shit in Michigan.
Okay.
Okay, so I even told Cassie at that time, Cassie, my sister Cassie, do not listen to the Christmas episode, okay? It's going to disturb you. You're very sensitive. And Cassie's like, okay. But then I realized I never told Poppy, my older sister, but Poppy's a lot tougher.
Well, I'm going to talk about the murder of Ann Costa in Washington Township, Michigan.
Oh, wow. All right.
Well,
I'm about to tell you a really gross story. And if somebody has a sensitive stomach, they should hit the forward button real quick, like boop, boop, back forward a few seconds. I want to tell you about how tough Poppy is and what her weakness is. So we used to work cleaning up, just as a side job, this movie theater. And one day someone had vomited into the sink and it had clogged the sink. The physical chunks had clogged the sink. And first my cousin Levon goes over and tries to take a Dixie cup to scoop the sink out, and throw it in the garbage to get it clean. She starts to get sick to her stomach. My sister Cassie's like, I'll try. She tries to scoop up the puke out of the sink. She gets sick. Poppy's like, what is wrong with you guys? Basically kicks the door open and starts scooping it out and just throwing it in there. Like, come on, you guys. We got to get this done. And she's like, scooping puke out of a sink with a Dixie cup gets the job done. That's how tough she is. Now, however, her weakness is hair. One day we're at this, what do you call them? Those rest stops on the side of the highway? A rest stop.
rest stop?
Yeah, I was like, okay. That's what they would be. So we're at the rest stop, and all of a sudden Poppy looks over. She's like, oh, God. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm like, what is wrong? What's wrong? She's like, there's a hair over there. Literally, just one single hair laying on the sink was enough to make Poppy puke.
Wow.
Yeah, but she can scoop puke up with a Dixie cup,
Yeah.
but can't have a single hair just resting on the counter.
odd.
Oh, immediately it kicks in her gaggy legs. But that's how tough my older sister is. Why don't you go first? I went first last time.
Yeah, and I need to correct myself because I said the murder of.
Oh.
And it's the murder maybe of.
Ooh.
It's the murder maybe of.
The murder maybe of.
You guys will figure it out.
Talk to me, Goose.
So the Costa family had been through tragedy in August of 2016 when a cousin of the family was shot and killed.
Wow.
Lisa Fabry, Fabbri,
Okay.
by her on and off again boyfriend Jeremiah Bashell.
Okay.
Jeremiah was charged with first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Okay,
There you
see?
go.
There we know when he's getting out.
Yep.
Never. It's determinate.
So they had this tragedy, and now fast forward on to June 2018.
Okay.
Ann Costa filed for divorce from her husband, Louis Costa.
Okay.
They were married 26 plus years. And I said Louis, didn't I?
Yeah.
It's Loris.
Oh.
Loris.
Laura
I'm
said,
catching myself today.
hey, catch yourself before someone else does. That's our new
know.
motto.
And if I still pronounce it incorrectly, I'm sorry.
Yeah, fuck it.
So Loris
Uh-huh.
and Anne worked for General Motors for many years. Their home was paid off.
Okay.
And their last...
Are they older?
Yep, they're older.
Okay.
I believe they were in their late 40s, 50s, I want to say.
That's not fucking older.
That's older.
I'm 44, ho!
You're really old. For you, if somebody would ask, I'd just say you're really, really old.
No, you'd be like, she's decrepit.
Yeah, she's actually decaying in front of me.
Right.
So, and their last minor child was almost an adult.
Okay. So, yeah, that's about the right age.
Yeah. Loris was said to be okay with the divorce and didn't believe they would have any significant disagreements.
Okay.
Even articles talk about how he had, right before Christmas of 2018, had talked to his lawyers and, was fine and no big deal. On Christmas Eve, 2018, the immediate family was in the house, so... Why did I write Lewis right there?
See, maybe that's why you called him Lewis last time.
Because
Loris...
We have to Google this now.
All right.
Was in the home. So she was there, he was there, and their 3 sons, so age 17, 23, and 26.
What? Are their kids' age?
17, 23, and 26.
Oh, for some reason I thought you said 7. I was like, oh my gosh.
No, 17, but this podcast isn't going very well right now for me. So.
Don't worry.
So, yeah, you got to Google this.
I'm gonna.
So, they're all home for Christmas Eve. Of course, going to celebrate Christmas.
Yes.
We're going to go with Loris. Shot his wife with a handgun around 11 p.m. and then killed himself. Okay, so it is Loris.
It is Loris.
I don't know. Maybe I just accidentally wrote.
Well, Loris...
At least I was right.
Loris is not a common name here in Michigan for a dude.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why you keep thinking Lewis.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So he shot her.
Yeah.
And then killed himself.
Wow.
With the kids in the house. So Anne was taken to the hospital in critical condition, being shot in her upper torso.
Okay.
The children confirmed the 2 were arguing prior to shots being fired. This is why it's murder maybe. Okay?
Okay.
Because all the articles talk about how she's in critical condition at the hospital. But I couldn't find any obituary for Anne. Like, no other follow-up.
Okay.
At all.
So you're like, she might still be alive.
Like, who knows? Nobody said. And none of the,
you need to follow up on
another
this.
one of that, I Googled and Googled and Googled and Googled, getting the same information. And nothing.
I know your pain.
Nothing new. Like, where is it? So now I was like, oh, let me start searching obituaries. But I couldn't find any that...
Some of the worst is when the articles repeat the same thing. Like, buddy, did you just read this other guy's article? And then literally word for word almost repeat. Oh, it makes me crazy.
So, but yeah. So all of a sudden, and, you're thinking there would be some type of follow-up. Like, why did he do this?
Yeah.
He's talking to his lawyer. He's fine. He's fine through all this period of time.
Okay.
And so June of 2018 to Christmas.
Yeah.
And... you're fine, and all of a sudden you're not fine? Like, something had to have happened.
You think maybe he wasn't fine the whole time? He's like, no, it's cool.
No.
It's cool, but it wasn't cool.
Well, I'm sure he probably thought it wasn't cool.
Right.
At some point. But this argument they had to be pretty significant.
Well, not to put my parents on blast, but my dad, my parents got divorced after 19 years of marriage. And I guess at one point, my dad was trying to get my mom to stop the divorce because he's Greek, and Greek people aren't really into divorces. And my mom was like, he's like, just stop the divorce. My mom's like, do you love me? My dad's like, no. My mom's like, fucking game back on, you dumbass.
Yeah, right?
No. But yeah, so there are times that people do weird stuff.
Yeah, so, but yeah, I just thought something, you would have something.
Right, at least you would have. But the kids say they were arguing, so.
Correct, but you would at least, you would think I could find something that, she died, or
we're gonna.
I think it's funny how many articles you can, like, these articles you find, and I have a couple more in upcoming podcasts where you're reading it, it gives you just that information. So critical condition in the hospital. But nobody writes anything else about it. Like it's over because you're on to the next murder or something.
Or it might even be maybe with his because he's dead and it says she survives and there's nothing to follow up on.
That she survived.
Oh, you want us to? I would like to know that too.
You know what I mean? You would think somebody would follow up and say, she did survive.
There's no story in surviving.
I guess so. So that's why I had to say it's a murder maybe. I'm not sure.
My article is, I call it Christmas in Michigan 2019 version.
Okay.
Yeah. So in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, there's a small town named Christmas. The town was built up around a factory that created Christmas baubles and decorations starting in 1938. And the factory has since closed, but the town remains. And they have a population of about 400, including a 35-foot tall Santa Claus. Ooh. And people often visit the town as a snowmobile resort, and tourists who like to mail their cards from the post office, having them stamped as Christmas. The Christmas post office.
That's cool. If it wasn't in the Upper Peninsula, I'd say we could
go. If you weren't afraid of the bridge?
Yep.
Yeah. I got to get you on a plane.
Nope.
So I wrote Michigan's Chance at a White Christmas. Okay. That's my next one. So according to an MLive article, and all my, I always put my little links at the bottom of my articles. You can just follow them there. So under the Michigan Chance at White Christmas, there's a link that shows the Lower East Side of Michigan. The Lower East Side has the lowest chance of having a white Christmas, with the area only getting about one white Christmas out of every 3, which I remember as every 3 Christmases. I remember as a kid that would bother me if there was no snow.
Yeah, and I think the East Side, well, I think it's Monroe and Toledo will get hit, but not the Ann Arbor and stuff. Yeah.
The article has the definition of a white Christmas listed, because I was like, you also have to have a definition. Mm-hmm. 1 inch of snow on the ground minimum. I was like, okay, that is white.
No, it's not.
On the ground?
1 inch?
1 inch minimum? Yeah, you got to have a definition.
You could still see grass.
Yeah, it depends on who mowed. So, those who live in the UP, the Upper Peninsula, have a 98% chance of having a white Christmas.
Why we don't live there.
Yeah. The west side of Michigan, both north and south, sees more snow than the east side. And the article also provides a snow map of Michigan and Wisconsin, because, the UP is connected to Wisconsin. Yeah. So I wrote the Eastern White Pine. Ooh. The Eastern White Pine is Michigan's state tree. It's a beautiful pine tree that grows too large to become Christmas trees for homes, but they are pretty enough that they capture the spirit. Okay, it's a pine tree. Mm-hmm. All but 1% of the old-growth eastern white pine forest remained after heavy logging. So we logged the fuck out of the whole white pines because we're a lumber state, and So Michigan's one of the top states in the United States for producing Christmas trees, which are typically evergreens, and the industry brings in about $60 million annually. There are between 780, because I saw different varying things, and 850 tree farms in Michigan, which export about 75% of their trees for the Christmas season.
Wow.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I don't know how you guys did, but my dad would take us to a tree farm where you're walking around outside, and we'd be like, this tree here. My dad's like, that's too far from the car. We're like 2 miles away. Do you expect me to get there?
You know what my dad used to say? That's too big. And I'm like, it's not too big. And he's like, when you get it in the house, it's too big. Yeah. And I will agree.
He was right. Yeah. My dad did the same thing. He'd be like, that's too big. That's fine. And then as we got older and we weren't doing that as much, we were picking out, purposely, we would go to tree lots and pick out Charlie Brown trees, we called them. They're the tree that leans, it's naked on one side, it's mostly dead. And we would pick that tree and just love the shit out of that tree. And we were like, we'll take that one. Nobody else will. Come on, you're coming home with us. We're going to make you gaudy as hell. So I'm going to talk about Chris Van Allsburg. And Chris Van Allsburg is from East Grand Rapids, Michigan. He graduated from the University of Michigan while focusing on sculpture. At home, Chris began sketching illustrations, eventually becoming an illustrator of children's books. Chris is now known for writing the children's book Jumanji and Polar Express. Both were later made into movies, with Polar Express being part of Christmas traditions. I guess kids now have that in their Christmas tradition. Michigan does have a train line that runs during the Christmas season called the North Pole Express. It is a 1-hour train ride from Owasso to the village of Ashley, and the train is pulled by an old-fashioned engine, Pierre Marquette 1225, which looks like the engine in the animated Polar Express story. As a matter of fact, the blueprints from the Pierre Marquette 1225 were used as the prototype for the train in the animated film. And they even used the sounds of the Pierre Marquette 1225 in the movie Polar Express.
Oh.
So in Ashley, the village is made to look like a 1940s Christmas wonderland. And there are quaint shops, horse-drawn carriages, a hobo camp, eateries, and handmade gifts. The North Pole Express is available from the middle of winter to a few days before Christmas each year, only on weekends.
I think my sister went there.
Your sister went there, and your man's sister went there. I saw her too.
Yep.
Yep. And I was just like, ooh, I know people that went there.
Oh my
like,
God.
Oh, they just went there a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah. And he got a golden ticket.
Oh. It seemed like all the kids were totally digging it.
Now I'm upset because she asked me if I wanted to go, and I said I couldn't.
Mother Blupper, you could have added to this.
I could have added to this and had an experience.
Okay, now this is where we learn not to say that again.
Well, tomorrow or next year, we put it on our to-do list.
I'm down. So I wrote down Christmas towns, and most people in Michigan are aware of Bronner's Christmas store at Frankenmuth.
Love it, best food ever.
Yeah, they talk about they name themselves the biggest Christmas store in the world, but anything you read says they call themselves the biggest Christmas store in the world. So I don't know if that can be confirmed.
I don't think it's that big.
Okay, and it's just always Christmas there too, right?
Correct. It's always Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not everybody knows about the other stores and towns dedicated to the celebration of Christmas in Michigan. So Old World Canterbury Village is located in Lake Orion. It is beautiful year round, but during the Christmas season, it is transformed into a gorgeous holiday destination.
Whoa.
Yep. Inside the village is a store called Always Christmas, and that is filled to the seams with Christmas doodads. There are also 56 village displays in the building, different Christmas village displays. Holland, Michigan also holds, I might say this wrong, Kerstmark is Kerstmarkt, which translate into Christmas market. And the city opens wooden booths and stalls for local artisans to sell their wares. The golds, just goods, but it could be gold if you want it to.
Yeah.
The goods being sold feature wooden toys, handmade pottery and jewelry, along with pine wreaths and holly bushes.
Oh, I want to go there. Take me there.
Okay. During the same time, the Frederick Myers Gardens and Myers, it's Frederick Meyer, because everybody in Michigan adds an S to Meyer, and I'm sorry. Gardens and Sculptural Park holds their Christmas and holiday traditions around the world exhibit, and that's just a short drive between the two. And Greenfield Village, which I actually talked to Sunil and Shelley at work today, we're talking about how amazing it was. Greenfield Village, which is in Dearborn, is set in the late 18th or 19th, early 20th century year round. And during the holiday season, the village fills with carolers, fiddlers, and wagons joining in a sing-along. There's an ice skating rink that's open. Kids can visit with Santa and his reindeer. And the village ends its night with the fireworks. And Shelley said that you go to different houses, and like one house is supposed to be set like in 1940, and it's decorated exactly like 1940. The next is like 1950.
Yeah, I love it. It's beautiful.
I wish.
And they actually do a good Halloween one. We used to do our Halloween there.
My sisters and my daughter have a Halloween tradition of going.
Yeah.
They've gone a few times. So my next one, I have Christmas rankings. I was like, look at all this Christmas shit in Michigan. We got to be high, right? We got snow. We got built. Oh, girl.
No.
So,
I don't think so.
I also have a link to this one. I have a link to everything. People follow it up. You can see I'm not lying. The CenturyLink had a ranking of all the states and their level of holiday cheer. They used two broad criteria to create their lists: online searches in the area's culture, and those are broken down to online activity.
But hold on.
Yeah.
They rate it by a number?
So it's
like 1 through 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I need to guess though.
You want to guess?
Well, yeah, I want to guess.
Where are we, girl?
I'm gonna say we're 41.
Okay, not far. So Google searches. These are the criteria they use. 29% of the points come from Google searches for Christmas movies and gingerbread houses.
Okay.
28 is Google shopping trends for wrapping paper, Christmas cards, and Elf on a Shelf. Christmas music streaming, that's 14.5%, and 7% is tweeting about Christmas. And so for the area culture, they have 7%, it is the number of Christmas tree farms per capita. I'm like, we're going to kill it there, right? And charitable giving, 14.5%. So it's like we can't be far. And I have the whole link on our show notes. So 1 is Washington, 2 is South Dakota, 3 is Utah.
There's nothing in Utah.
I know. I'm like, Utah, okay, we got to be here. And I go down farther. No. 13 is West Virginia. 14 is Wisconsin.
Where's Ohio?
Ohio's
20.
20. Ohio. Then I'll keep going. Kentucky's 26. Okay, we're not there yet. Okay, Colorado's 30. All right. Louisiana, 36. I'm like, that's hot. Okay. Georgia is 40. Did you say 40?
41.
41 is New Mexico. Where the fuck are we? 46.
Oh, wow.
Michigan's 46. 47 is New Jersey. 48 is Florida. 49 is Hawaii. And 50 is Alaska. I bet in Alaska, they're like, we have enough snow and shit to last us forever. And I was just like,
wow, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, I want to do a quick Christmas thing because I want to tell you, as an adult, I realized that we all have different holiday traditions that are normal to us in our home that we grew up with that are not normal with everybody else. And it starts with, okay, so Christmas. So in my early 20s, I was talking to a coworker, and it's the coworker that my husband dated her daughter for like 8 years. We were talking about Christmas, and she mentioned something about Santa leaving gifts underneath the tree. That really got my attention. And she's like, then she mentioned having you select a family member, and that person doles out the gifts. And then one by one, you would watch, this person open a gift and this person open a gift, starting with the youngest. And I was like, oh. I was like, that's not what we did at Christmas at my house. And she was like, oh, I know. Not everybody waits for each person to open a gift. I was like, oh, no. I was like, no. First of all, my mind was blown that Santa put gifts under their tree. Santa never put a single gift under our tree. Why would he? Okay, so I was just like, wait, Santa put gifts on the tree? She's like, yeah, that's normal. I'm like, no. Okay. Then I broke down our family tradition. Okay. I blew her mind. Okay, here's what it is. So we would leave Santa a note telling him where we would like our gifts. So we would always pick up a piece of furniture in the living room, and the couch was the prime spot we'd all fight for. There's 3 girls. We're all going for the couch. We all want the couch. The couch is the hot spot. Poppy often got it. So when we woke up, there weren't any name tags, right? Your gift's in your spot. All my gifts, would be on the recliner. All Poppy's gifts would be on the couch. All Cassie's gifts would be on the other chair. And that's how we knew. And okay, so for years, we didn't even have a stocking. And the elves left us gifts, and they would hide clues. And the clue would take us to the next clue. The next clue would take you to your gift, right? So even when we come down for Santa, not all our gifts were wrapped. Some were just sitting on your pile, just exposed. Which I didn't know that was weird until your brother, my daughter's stepdad, is watching me with his first Christmas. And he's like, what? You didn't wrap that. I was like, I know, I'm just going to set it on, I'm going to set it over here. So he's like, wait a minute, you don't wrap all her gifts? I'm like, no, Santa doesn't wrap all the gifts. He's like, yes, Santa does. I'm like, not this damn Santa. But 8 years later, he's like, let's just set this one here. We don't need to wrap this one, do we? Because he's tired now of wrapping all the time. And nobody in our house waited. Nobody waited. You went to your gift. You went in like a freaking animal. And you came out with what made you happiest. And, our parents just gave us the nod, and we just went at it, man. That was the signal, like, everybody go. And it wasn't until my early 20s that I found out. I didn't even know Santa. I never thought about it. Why would he put the gift under the tree? I never thought about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Santa always put gifts under our tree.
Okay.
I do know, like, at my grandmother's house, there's so many. So she had 7 boys.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they're all married. And then we have all the grandkids.
So all those
like
gifts
12.
were under the tree?
So yeah, they're under the tree. So so that there's so many, it made sense you opened it because Grandma wanted to see you open your gift.
Okay.
You can't have, 12 plus people opening a gift and not, and then she would open all hers and we would sit and watch.
Oh, see, I was used to the melee, and to this day, when somebody watches me open a gift, I always say later on, like, I appreciate it more than I'm showing. I have a weird way. I don't know how to display my happiness properly, but I'm telling you, I really appreciate it.
I don't remember us, with Mom and Dad, like having to wait, but they would always wait to open their gifts. Their slow roll. Like you've been to enough Christmases.
Yeah.
They watch us, and we're like, open a gift,
right?
Already, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I do know one of my friends, Santa always not only left the gift out, never wrapped anything. Santa never wrapped anything.
One of your friends never had a wrap gift from Santa?
Nope. Okay. And they, for their kids, what they did was they unboxed it. There was never boxes. if you got a dollhouse, that thing is put together and sitting out waiting for you.
Yeah.
Like it was never wrapped.
Okay, some of my unwrapped things, like with Ariana, I would do something like that, set something up. And sometimes I'd just be like, this is really awkward, and just set it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, not wrap it.
So, and then now, I mean, I used to wrap all my gifts in fancy wrapping paper and bows. And then as the years go on, I just put them in bags.
I wrap
and
like
actually,
a
lot
animal.
of people, there are certain times, like certain people, I just won't even put it in a bag. I'll be like, here, look what I got you for Christmas.
I wrap like a damn animal. I cannot wrap. Your brother is laser precision, okay? You could
my mom
take a ruler to that thing and it'll be like absolutely straight. And he looked at me like, it looks like I just bunched paper on it and then just used tape to hold it closed. Yeah. And I was like, I basically am. And the only gifts I've ever wrapped as an adult is for my daughter for Christmas. I don't wrap any other gifts. I've always used bags. The end.
Yeah, I used to always love unwrapping it. But now, I used to love wrapping, and now I'm just like over it. And so what I do is I buy a bag.
Yeah.
And then I fill that bag. And once you're filled, you're done for. Except for this year, my brother actually got 2 bags. He's lucky. He's
lucky guy. He is super lucky. And I'll say, if anybody's, let us know on our website what some of your Christmas things are. That just blew my mind. Yeah. She's like, well, I was like, Santa put gifts under the tree. She looked at me like, yeah, where the hell did they go in your house? I'm like, nowhere near the tree. I never even thought about it. So you've been listening to Michigan and Mayhem.
Ooh.
It feels like it.
Okay, it is.
Michigan and Other Mayhem with Allie.
And Jen.
Connect with us at michiganandothermayhem.com to join the conversation, listen to the podcast, access the show notes, find site links, or correct us when necessary. Rate and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Anchor, and YouTube. Bye-bye now.